Hello, my name's Fox 9, so Bugden Adverture Fox, and God, I love Ignis. I think is now one of my favorite companions in Final Fantasy 15 because, mind you, and also this is probably the best DLC in it, but also it does bring up some things that I kind of also hate about Final Fantasy 15. But I'll get to that in a second. But basically, this is episode Ignis. It came out, I think, a bit ago, I'm not sure. I couldn't access the game till, like, today. So, I don't know, actually, when it did come out. But, I can look that up right now. But, episode Ignis is, of course, Ignis' story, which takes place during the battle for Altissia. Before he gets blinded. Spoilers. And immediately... I already knew that, like, of course, the ending of this is he's going to be blinded. So I was expecting, like, I don't know. So throughout the game, I'm just, like, waiting for, like, okay, when is he going to be blinded? Is it going to be, release date? December 13th. Yeah, it came out last month. Or last year, technically. But, I was wondering, like, okay, alright, so he's going to be blind at some point. So... And the thing is, each game has their own gimmick, where each episode, the first one is more just a hack and slash game with Gladios. The second one, Prompto, is, I guess, Metal Gear Solid stealth, kind of a little bit, military style a bit. And then this one is Assassin's Creed, which, I love the Assassin's Creed, story alone. I love the Assassin's Creed, what do you call it? The Assassin's Creed, festival alone, and right now is what I have Noctis wearing when I play the game and, that's, like, his main thing. So this one is a very similar thing, though, mind you, there's no climbing. It's more along the lines of using a zip line that you stole from a Magitech guy and climbing up, just shooting up buildings, and you're basically just going around, like, clearing out the area, basically, and then you do the whole thing where you're supposed to go to Altissia, you're supposed to go save Noctis, along with Ravis, which I actually liked a little more that they gave Ravis some more stuff, and hopefully in the next DLC, which, again, it sucks that it's not in the main goddamn game, but then again, they're getting the Royal Edition, and even then, that does kind of suck, because, like, because then some things just don't really work all that well in this game. I kind of really understand the idea of, oh, there's actually a backstory to all of this. Like, Gladios left for a bit, and then he comes back. But I literally knew, soon as I finished Final Fantasy 15, what episode, or actually, as soon as I finished Final Fantasy 15, soon as I did that, I knew exactly where each piece of DLC was going to be. Where Gladios was, Prompto's, and Ignis's. And the thing is, these stories are awesome, and what they probably should have done was have some kind of cutscenes for some of them. Maybe not Ignis's. Ignis's, I actually really love the twist at the end. Spoilers for that one as well. Go play the thing if you have it. But basically, again, you're just mostly going through Altissia. Again, ziplining. You can zipline up buildings, run it along rooftops of Altissia, and that's freaking fun. That's great. That's what I thought the game was going to be on launch day. I thought what was going to happen was Noctis with it. Then again, this is the part I hate about this game, is open world Final Fantasy game. You have an ability to warp strike using your weapon and to warp to your weapon and cling up to things. I'm like, oh sweet, this is going to be awesome with climbing stuff. Like there's a freaking tower, or like when you play the Platinum demo and there's like the big building, like you warp the different points and then get on top of the building, then jump down and stuff. I'm like, fudge, yeah, this is going to be great. The Platinum demo is probably one of the best parts. It's one of the best things out of Final Fantasy 15. And that, again, that's a demo. But, the game's still fun. But, yeah, doing that, and then just like, it turns out, oh no, Warp Strike's only really used to move forward and dash. You can't use it to jump over gaps. And so, and that kind of sucked. In episode Ignis, no, you use your thing to teleport up buildings, or climb up buildings, fight bad guys. You use cool combos between, like, ice to do, like, you switch between his different spells of daggers, where you switch to ice to do area effect, fire for single combat, and then lightning to like close gaps with other guys, or just zip around like crazy. Which he doesn't need warp. He doesn't need warp abilities. He teleports around, but in the end, he does get it. But I'll bring that up in a second. But then eventually you meet Ravis, and you get a little more with Ravis that he's trying to save his sister, and you get a little bit more and a little bit of sadness with him. Oh, I forgot, the beginning of this is freaking great, especially since it leads to the ending, where you see through Ignis's point of view, meeting King Regis and then meeting Noctis when he's younger. When Noctis is very young, and they're saying that King Regis is saying, be his brother, be his protector. And I like that. I wish I had more of this stuff. I wish we had gotten a little bit more of this stuff in the main game. Maybe you do when you get to the other campsites. I know you get little missions, and I did some of them, but maybe you get more later on. But I wish there was more of that, or we saw more backstory on these characters in the actual game. You don't have to give us all of it, but at least some of it. And you see them... But yeah, it's cool seeing more Ravis, and I hope in the next DLC, because I think they said they're going to do episode Arden, which if they're going back to the past when when he stopped the Scourge the first time, I want to see that story. Luna Freya, I want to know how it's going to do it. I just want to know, kind of. I don't really know if it's going to be that good. Not saying anything about the women characters, but I'm saying that in a sense of, did she have an adventure? I guess maybe when she was well, okay, yeah, if they're going to do it where she's escaping, when she's trying to escape insomnia, I could see that. I could see that probably being where that goes, especially since they say they're expanding insomnia now in the Royal Edition. So maybe, and then I want to see an episode of Ravis, because Ravis needs more screen time for quote unquote how important he is. He literally dies at the point where it's just like, what the fudge? Why? I didn't know who this character was. I was waiting, but nothing. I don't know. But yeah, this DLC is freaking great, and especially in the ending. Even though the ending, it has like kind of an anticlimactic bit. No, it's very good, but like in the end, basically everyone's beating the crap out of it. It's only Ignis and Noctis. Noctis knocked the fudge out. Luna Freya is dead. Ravis is captured by Magitech soldiers, and Arden comes in, and he's like, and he goes to Ignis like, oh, maybe I should kill this guy now. Kill Noctis, and he's about to pull out the knife, and Ignis goes, no. Also, I forgot to mention, when Luna Freya dies, her dog dies, and when her dog dies, the dog explodes into the light, which lets Ignis hear a voice, which I guess is maybe the Draconian, I think, or it could have been Regis, I don't know, and it shows in visions of the future, which is kind of cool, because again, blind at the end. And then, basically, Ignis toward the end, when Nox is about to get killed, Ignis grabs the Ring of Lucius, puts the goddamn ring on, and just goes freaking, and just goes, and like, you see, like, it's freaking cool, you see him look towards, Noctis, you just see his eyes kind of, like, burn out, like when you see, like, old footage burn or whatever, and he goes against Arden fighting, even though I wish we would have gotten something, because I wish, like, because really all that really leads up to is that you now have kind of a war. Basically, your lightning ability is now given to kind of all of it. All of your abilities, where instead, because lightning ability lets you zoom in quick with other ones, probably even faster than Warp Strike ever could, because it doesn't even take that much magic, apparently. But instead, now you're like, warp, like, Arden's all over here, you can use the fire one. Zoom! Start beating the crap out of him. It's kind of cool. I wish they would have made it like a fourth element that you could use with the D-pad, like hit down so that you have the King of Kings knives or something like that. But it looks cool. Like his eyes like go blind. You see like the burn mark, like the crystal kind of burn mark that like Noctis gets when like he uses the ring all that much. You see the burn mark. Ignis's hair's down, which makes it look freaking epic. I wish that's kind of how he would have looked in the when they zip to the future a little bit more, like he had his hair down, because it looks cool. And I also always love the characters who are like very clean and like, you know, regal kind of characters. But then in the end, like, but like as the story progresses, whichever story it is, they kind of become a little bit more raggedy. But they still keep that stature, but they're still more raggedy. Like, I haven't finished Bleach, but Byakuya Kuchiki, how he, again, kind of looks real, so then he kind of has just, like, that being, like, the cloak and everything. Something like that. I always kind of liked that, like, progression a little bit. And you kind of get this towards the end a little bit, but then, you know, the actual story happens. Basically, yeah, you fight Arden. You don't actually defeat him. You just lower his health down to a point, and then the screen just goes black where apparently your enchantment's done. It's like, I'm sorry, Noct. I'm sorry, Noct. And then Arden goes, well, that was fun for today. And I guess he just leaves because he literally just leaves. Arden just Ignis just, I guess, crawls over, still blinded, crawls over to Noctis, lands next to him. Ravis says that you have a destiny, and so does he. And then it kind of cuts back. It cuts like immediately to like when Ignis finds Ignis, you see like some cutscenes like how he gets caught by Prompto and Gladio and everything. Ignis, and they finally make it back to and they have the scene that's in the game where he goes to knock and wakes him up basically, and yeah, I do like that. The Ignis says, "Shoulder your we'll help shoulder your burdens with you," and stuff like that. And I love knowing that, like, now, I like knowing this one, because, again, Ignis, out of all of them, has one of the best endings to the DLCs, at least, because it's just, like, he's, I think, he's the third person in the Final Fantasy series, 15 series, who's wore this ring, who is not a King of Regis, and I do like the equivalent exchange kind of deal with the ring, which I kind of really like, where, what is it? Well, Ravis, he wanted to become king. The king said no. Burned his arm off. Nitch, I forgot his name. The dude in the movie, the King Glaive, he puts on the ring, summons giant Jaeger titans, kings to fight, gains the power of the king, starts fighting everything. But of course, he loses his life because that's a lot. And then Ignis, to help save Noct, he gives up his eyesight to do it. I love that equivalent exchange stuff. I love that. That's pretty cool. And again, it's just freaking cool seeing Ignis go like a Super Saiyan, kind of. I wish, again, that he would have gotten like another ability other than just the Warp Strike. Maybe he gained a new blade to cut down Arden, and Arden narrowly escapes. And like, that'd be easy to explain, because then it's like, okay, Arden can't really fight him now, but he won't, of course, Ignis won't be able to fight him again like that. So there you go. But you didn't get that, which kind of sucked, but I'm playing Comrades now, which is pretty freaking fun. But yeah, this was cool. I love this game. This is one of those games, even though this game has its problems, again, it's not really open world. It still has its like invisible hallways, but it feels a bit more open, and it is kind of fun. It just needs way more mythology into this, as well as to not cut up the goddamn story so goddamn much. If we would have gotten at least clips, or if we would have at least had something where, like, we gotten clips of these stories, or we would have found out more stuff. Like, again, Prompto's reveal at the end that he's actually made by whatever, that doesn't feel so much like, oh, revelation. That feels more like, oh, you're sequel baiting or DLC baiting. Same thing with Gladio. He leaves, comes back with scars. Don't worry about it. Sequel baiting. Ignis losing his eyes. That is probably the only thing that's like, okay, yeah, that's still kind of sequel baiting, but that's more like, okay, he didn't get out of this unscathed. And again, Ignis now is probably one of my favorites, because again, he's freaking epic. I love his dedication and loyalty to Noctis. And I would want to see more how they were before in the city. I would have liked that to be kind of the tutorial, if anything. But yeah, the video, it was great. The DLC, fun. I wish that they would have kept the grappling hook. They would have had that grappling hook kind of function in the actual game. It wouldn't be a grappling hook. It would be his warp strikes, or Noctis' warp strikes. Could have been cool running around Altissia and doing whatever. And now I kind of grade like open world games on the sense of something like Final Fantasy 13. Mind you, I've only played Final Fantasy 13 a couple first episode video, or like the first couple levels, and it's just like, oh my god, it's just, and I agree with the hallway simulator. But I kind of grade open worlds to that. From that to Breath of the Wild. Final Fantasy 13 to Breath of the Wild. This this game is a little bit more in between. Like, Final Fantasy 15 is more a little towards the middle. Episode Ignis is at least a little bit towards Breath of the Wild, to where you can basically almost go anywhere. And it's freaking awesome, and I really wish they would have kept that in the actual game, because that would have been fun and cool to do. But no, they didn't, and that kind of really sucks. But either way, the game, this was still fun. I liked it. Ignis, again, is probably one of my favorites now. It was first Gladio. Then Gladio became an a-hole in the actual game towards the bit where you met the Titan, and like he's like, "What? Be act like a prince." I'm like, I've been picking all the nice answers the entire time. What the fuck are you talking about? Gladio, yeah, he got knocked off. So Prompto was kind of more, and I liked Prompto a bit more. But this right here just makes Ignis like freaking epic and great, and I would like to see more something like this. I want to see if they are going to do Arden DLC and Lunafreya DLC and hopefully Ravis DLC. I want to see I want to see the Arden one, and I want to see that in Ancient Times. I want to see that in Ancient Times. I doubt they're going to do it, because I doubt they're going to overhaul the entire map for that. Then again, they might do it more like in dungeons or something like that. But I would like to see that more in Ancient Times, to see Arden's past a little bit more. But I doubt they're going to rehaul the map and take out like the roads and stuff for that. Or they probably just have like it like around more dungeons, because dungeons look old. Maybe, I don't know. But the game was fun. I liked it. Tell me anything in the comments below. Thanks for watching two reviews that I've done. Links are on my face. Subscription ones are on there somewhere. And we will see you later. Oh, and they also screwed up on the costume too, because Ignis doesn't get his hair down or that cool flame thing on his eye either. It's just him without his gloves and casual without a jacket. I heard it's a glitch, but if it's been a month and they haven't fixed it, I think that's actually something permanent, which kind of really sucks. Other than that, the DLC is pretty good.